dangerous do you think Fedor still is?
I think Fedor had a couple warm-up fights, and I think that Fedor is probably back to his old self. I think the volume of punches he throws, I think the cardio he shows, I think the pressure he puts on constantly during a fight, I don't think will ever leave him. So I think he's just as dangerous as ever been. Just had to knock some ring offs off.
What did you make of that Maldonado fight, though? Because there were times where he looked like he was in some serious trouble.
Yeah, but I think anytime, he probably took BJ or Fabio rather lightly. And paid for it. I think that's the thing with our sport is that anytime you take somebody lightly, any for a moment, you get caught. I took Ben Rothwell lightly. The guy felt I was whooping him pretty handily, and I was like, I'll take him down and beat him in his own game. And I got choked. So I think it can keep you honest very quickly, and I think that's what happened with it.
How much had he been on your radar as somebody that you wanted to face, somebody that you thought in your career you would have the opportunity to face?
That was one of my initial requests when I came over. I was like, look, if there's ever a chance and Fedor ever gets back into fighting, I want to be his first fight. So it was something I've openly petitioned for.
How much have you had to sort of change your training, or have you done anything different to prepare for him?
I've bounced. I haven't changed anything. Well, I guess in theory, I started boxing with Big Baby Miller down in Florida with Coach Henry, and we've had a couple really good training partners. Fedor's not necessarily known for throwing anything straight on the pipe. There's a lot of looping punches, jumping into his hooks, a lot of very aggressive power and punches and bunches, which Big Baby Miller's really good at as far as punches and bunches. But he throws a lot more straights and a lot more power everything. So I've kind of found myself bouncing back and forth between Indianapolis and my training partners, Team 2-Ton there, and Big Baby Miller and Coach Greg Jones down in Florida. And it's worked out really well. I feel that I've gotten a great amount of Greco work, double under, double over-under work, a lot of body throws, a lot of getting up from bottom, a lot of transitions, and a lot of joint defense, like whether it's arm bars or Americanas, key locks. Any kind of like joint lock submissions.
You worried at all about any Russian hacking of your camp?
Well, they got Trump in, so if we can get Trump in, I think anything can happen in the world now.
How do you approach fighting someone like Fedor? The guy's obviously a legend. He's done it all in the sport. Just from a mental perspective, how do you approach that?
Well, I have a rather large ego as well. So, I think that I don't necessarily think I'm a legend, but I think that I have potential to become somebody that could be mentioned in a sentence someday along the line. And I think this is it's a legacy fight. Obviously, Fedor has a lot to lose with this fight. I have a lot to gain with this fight. And I'm going to do my damnedest to steal his legacy and steal all his fans. And I want everybody in the world to be like, wow, Fedor looked damn good, but Mitrione with that ass.
Is that why you wanted that fight? Is that why you asked for it?
Yeah, but yeah. With lack of a lot of words, yes.
Hey, Matt, that might have been the motivation which you listed there. If not, is there any other motivations for you personally coming into this matchup?
I mean, really, Fedor's the GOAT. He's the biggest name in my sports history as far as I'm concerned. And anybody who's a competitor wants that opportunity. If I was playing back in the day, I would have wanted to play against Barry Sanders. I would have wanted or Walter Payton. I would have wanted to do the best or play against Leon Lett. One of the best old linemen ever. I would have wanted that situation and opportunity. So it's just, I'm fortunate enough that I came here at the right time and I had a name that was sexy enough for Fedor to be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Let's do it. I mean, I think we all know that Fedor wouldn't have come out to fight nobody. So I'm happy that at least I accomplished that much in my life to warrant an opportunity.
What would you say to those that you mentioned right now you feel that he's the greatest of all time? There's many that don't feel that way. Do you have a response to those people that mention that and don't feel that he's the greatest of all time?
Well, everybody's wrong. It's okay.
But what's your opinion? What puts him over everybody else?
The fact that he fought the best in the world at their primes, had an unbeaten record, won via arm bars, via knockouts, via TKOs, via arm locks. I mean, anything that he could do, chokes. I mean, Fedor is the best. He's the best all around. I mean, to show you, for example, I've never heard another person make a comment as such when he was fighting Andrei Arlovsky. And Andrei was getting his ass. He was whooping him pretty well. And pushing him back, which Fedor's not usually going backwards. And Fedor made the comment that he realized that something different was going to happen because Andrei's footwork changed. So just everything else aside, just from that, to have the presence of mind to be getting your ass whooped in the middle of a fight and to realize that something is shifting because of his footwork in the middle of an ass whooping is really impressive. Add into that the fact that as soon as something did change, when Andre tried that flying knee, he threw the exact thing that he should have thrown and starts him in midair. Like, so you see it, you acknowledge it, you realize what's going on. As soon as it happens, you react immediately, and then correctly. You're a fucking GOAT, man. Nobody else does it. I've never heard anybody else say anything like that. That's the GOAT.
And follow up to that, a lot of people feel that he shouldn't be fighting anymore. Regardless, you're taking this fight because what it can do for you. It's a big name on your resume to build up your legacy. But do you feel that he should stop fighting given the performances that he's had in his last fights?
Who am I to say that? Like, like Fedor is Fedor. Fedor can do whatever Fedor wants. Do I think I'm going to win? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think I'm a dangerous fight for Fedor? Absolutely. Do I think that? I think at this point, beating Fedor or Fedor beating me, I think kind of revalidates him because I think I'm pretty damn solid, and especially with the work I've been able to get in with my coaches, with my training team. I think I'm pretty damn good. And I always say, man, I can beat anybody in the world on any given day, and I can be one of the best in the world, if not the best. So, for Fedor to come in and try it out, that shows that he's a lifelong competitor, and that he's never satisfied. He wants some more. So who am I to say he should quit?
On top of that, too, what do you make of the criticisms of his past competition? Many bring that up that the last guys he's fought at his weight class at heavyweight haven't been the elite. What do you make of all that criticism, and do you agree with it?
I don't know. I feel like a real dark cloud like Linus over you right now. Like it's like right, yeah. Like I don't know, man. I don't put time into that. I don't have an opinion on it. Like if people want to say, the only person I've ever heard say that is Chael, and he's just tongue in cheek, just dicking around with people. So like I don't care. I wasn't involved in a Pride era. I'm involved in my era. I'm drug free. I'm sure Fedor is drug free. So the fact that his people that were the people he beat, maybe he was on steroids, maybe they were on steroids, maybe they weren't, maybe they were the best or not the best past the prime. I don't care. I care. February 18th, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to punch Fedor in his face, and Fedor is going to punch me in my face, and hopefully I can avoid more than I give. That's all I can give you, man.
Dan, Full Contact Fighter. I was wondering, Fedor's Fedor because of his power, because he's not just a great Sambo champion, because he's got that overhand right. Can you really prepare for that in your camp?
Absolutely. Yes, I can. Yes, I can prepare for that for certain. The thing that is the challenge is he jumps into everything. He's got a tremendous amount of go. So he closes distance very quickly. He jumps into his left hook. He turns that into a double under body lock, and is very good with getting people to the ground off that double body lock. Whether it's a pull back and get on.
It turns into a shot. Next thing you know,
for sure.
Like Mayweather.
Yeah. So if you play passive, waiting for the overhand right, then all of a sudden he's on your legs. If you play passive on the double on the left hook where he jumps into it and just try to play up here, then all of a sudden he's on your body lock. If you play the body lock, then you land on a hook. So he's great at what he does, and he always has been. That's why he's Fedor. But honestly, like I hear he's strong, I hear he's powerful, but so am I, man. And I throw straight down the pipe. So if anything kind of comes looping around, I'm sure they know that I'm going to be throwing straight down the pipe as a counter. And Henry Hoof's the best striking coach in the country, or in the world, and I feel that we're prepared for that. Yep, I'm a Henry guy, man. That's Henry's my striking coach. Coach Greg is my wrestling coach. Chris Idle's my mentor. So I do a lot of traveling back and forth and get as much as I can between the three of those. But my team two-ton, which is Charles Stanback and Ed Jones, I call him Butta. There's nobody in the world I've ever met that has refrigerator strength like them. So refrigerator strength, you can pick up a refrigerator and carry the block. They're strong. Charles is a very strong Greco guy. So as soon as they get their hands on me, I know I'm in trouble, and there's a 5-point throw coming. So I've been prepared for it. I got Coach Tom Erickson, Big Cat, who always advises me and helps me out along the way. So I feel like the team I put together has kind of prepared me for this moment, and I've had a history of not succeeding at my biggest opportunities, and I plan on changing that.
What would a win over Fedor mean to you?
It means I get paid.
How many fights did you sign for with Bellator?
4-5 deal.
Yep. And so the question would be, though, after Fedor, would everybody else be something of a letdown fight, or would you just at that point feel like the title fight would be the next best thing?
Well, I mean, really, I don't think there's such a thing as a letdown fight. Fedor's a huge fight, right? But I think that once you have that perspective, or you allow yourself to have that perspective of a letdown fight, that's when you get seriously hurt for the rest of your life, and that can easily happen. For example, look at Karatanov, right? Karatanov, I'm assuming, did not take Javi. I did very seriously. Right, came in there, wasn't terribly lubed up. Maybe it was the walkout because it takes such a long time for Bellator for the original walkout, the show, the stage, everything else. Maybe it was, and that happens, and that was a brutal knockout. So I think that if you allow yourself to have that mentality, that's when bad things happen. So I don't think I'll ever run into that.
Now, between this fight this weekend and your fight with Fedor, Bellator probably has the two biggest fights of the year, at least the first 2 months. How do you see the progress going with Bellator, and do you like where it's going?
You know, I'm very happy with what Bellator is doing, primarily because they're not just throwing money and chasing any free agent. I think they're being very selective about who they pick. I think they're paying attention to who has a fan base, a good following, who affects ratings, what their placements have always been on cards, and what they've been able to do. And I think that they've made very, very intelligent choices. And I'm really happy with. Well, honestly, man, I'm really happy with the way that they treat us, dude. Like it's a totally different world. Like just like not even the perks. It's just the conversation. Like you get to know everybody involved, and you're not just like if you have something to say. Like even if they're just patronizing, you'd be like, oh yeah, right on, man, that sounds great. But it was at least like an entertaining. You're like, oh, right on. I guess we could do this and this, and then they could go away and never think about it again. But at least at the moment, you don't feel like you're being demeaned and just like, yeah, right on, dude. Kind of a situation.
What do you think it'll take for Bellator to make that big leap to get on par with the UFC?
You know, man, I don't know. Well, it's the marketing machine, right? It's the PR. It's the money that's been put into the game, right? And the UFC was the groundbreaker, right? Well, next to Pride, but so it'll probably take time, and I think they're doing the right things. I think Mr. Coker's production is fantastic. I like the walkouts. I like the scenery. I like the panache, the funk of it. You know, it's pretty dope. You know, like I said, it's probably just time putting on good shows. I think that it really speaks really well for Bellator now that Benson came over, did fought his ass off at 170 but didn't win that fight. Fought his ass off against 155 against Michael Chandler and didn't win that fight. I think that shows like, hey man, our top talent is just as good as anybody else's top talent. And I think that Phil Davis coming over and winning that, I think that it's good. I think they're kind of revamping everything they got to get done. But I think there'll be some hell fights. It's just time.
Matt, you mentioned Andrei Arlovsky, and especially with Freddie Roach behind him, people don't realize, but he was an elite-level boxer in MMA. Are you going to try to stay outside of the pocket with Fedor? Or are you going to try to kind of stay away from his power? What's your strategy in a stand-up?
Well, I don't go nipple to nipple with too many people. I'm not a wrestler. It's not my forte. So like I'm long. I'm straight. I fight. I throw straight punches. And then right on. You never know. I'm long. I throw straight punches. So I keep my distance anyways. I feel like I'm the master of my area, my territory. So if Fedor wants to come in that area, which he will have to touch me, he'll have to eat a couple. I mean, he may get his hands on me, he may get me to the ground, he may throw his punches and bunches on me, but there'll be some counters left in there.
Is that the most dangerous thing? I talked to Bas Rutten once about fighting him and what he would be most scared of, and he said being on bottom and the ground and pound and having Fedor raining down on you.
Fedor's ground and pound is legendary, and he's to the point where he has such good body control that he's reckless with it, which I think is what Dan Henderson was able to capitalize on, where he didn't feel like he had to control it because his hips are so heavy, and Dan just kind of knee bumped him over with a little bit of an underhook and came up and threw him out.
Armpit.
Yeah.
Punch, yeah.
And so I think that Fedor is so good at what he does. And he has so much power, and he's so comfortable throwing it that being underneath him is not where I want to be.